And we are live here, Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 184. And we've got Brian, the main man Johnson, again with us. Tyler McGurk, as always. Casey should be here in just a couple hours, as you know. Tyler, how we doing out there Sunday morning?
I'm doing well. I had my first practice on Friday, and oh man, do we have a long ways to go.
Now we're talking about fall ball for people out
Yes,
there that
fall
don't
ball,
know.
baseball. I have a kid who's never played baseball and never watched baseball, so I mean, I get to shape him however I want him to play baseball. But as far as it's going to be a long year,
Can he
it's
catch?
fall ball. He actually could a little bit. He said he plays football, but I don't know. He barely knows English. It's going to be a difficult. It's going to be a difficult fall. I didn't realize what I was signing up for when I took this little volunteer coaching gig.
I did that for fall ball that year when Ryan actually helped me. Ryan wore sunglasses more to those games than the regular season ones. I noticed. No, those were good times. Those fall ball games. But you'll have a moment or two where, like the kid that you're talking about gets hit, and you're like, "All right, let's go." That hit means everything to that guy. If we get Casey on here, all right, Brian.
What's up, man?
Casey, how you doing, man?
Good,
Brian,
man.
how was your week?
It was good. It was busy. I was just all over the place.
Now
for
you're
work.
still driving an OC, right?
Yeah, but sometimes they have to deliver records in another area. So I had to go to Beverly Hills on Friday. So the traffic was insane coming home.
And let the record show the OC was not one of those top 5 shows for you last week. So that was disappointing, I guess, living in that area there. Casey, you joined us again. How are you doing, man?
Doing good, fellas. What's going on, guys? How's everything going?
We're going to get rolling here on some football talk, a little baseball A's trades here a little bit, some top 5 pizza toppings. We'll get into that a little bit. So we'll have some good stuff. I got to shout out Jason and Jesse. They shouted us out last week on their show, that other sports show. Great show. They do a lot of Warriors talk at times. They'll do some Bills, NFL talk. They do a lot of UFC, boxing, wrestling talk too. So they do a great job covering that. I like some of their takes on Jake Paul. Me and Jason feel very similar about the smashing of the face going in.
And they always have the wrestling gifts.
Yep, he's got those Twitter going on. So yeah, they gave us a good shout out at the end. He listened because we were talking about obviously our Oakland memories last week. So appreciate them and their show. Be sure to check them out as well. Thanks to Let's Be Real Sports. Got to go on yesterday, Brian, and talk Raiders AFC West with with a Broncos fan, a Chiefs fan. And
did
so that was fun.
Did you talk about them talking trash about Mahomes, the Kermit puppet coming out?
I'm not sure if a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 21 years wants to keep going wants to go down that route. They didn't have the Oakleys on Kermit. That was the one thing they didn't have the Oakleys on them. But I want to start with your Niners, guys, and I want to start with this because Jordan Love got at what the highest paid? Is he still to this moment, right? The highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Tua gets a very good deal as well. He gets about $210 million in his deal. Dax, you got to think is going to get paid. Or you think he's going to get paid somewhere. Let's put it that way. If it's not with the Cowboys, somebody's probably going to pay him. And then we go to your guy looking ahead to next year, Brock Purdy, and it got me thinking like these quarterbacks kind of hold a lot of these teams hostage in some ways, not purposely by any means, but it's like. They're just the market keeps going way up. There's so little of them that can actually play like at a high level that's going to win you Super Bowls. What do you think, Tyler? Do you feel that same way?
I mean, it's definitely been advantageous for the 49ers the last 3 years or 2 years to have Purdy on $100, whatever the last pick of the draft gets.
Yeah.
And it seems like we've been able to afford everybody. Now it's coming to a head. Ayuk's holding out. Trent Williams is holding out. And they got to work around knowing they're going to have to pay Purdy next year in the excess of $60 million a year from what the contracts are looking like. So it's going to get interesting. I think Trent Williams is priority number one. Ayuk gets put on the back burner again, which is probably going to upset Ayuk, which rightfully so. If I'm Ayuk, I wouldn't take well to that because I've been wanting a contract for longer. But Trent Williams is definitely the more important player as far as the 49ers go. and then they got to make it all work for Purdy next year. So,
But how about
when you have the quarterback with only getting less than $1 million, it makes it so much easier to put a team together. We saw it with the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Like those teams were dominant, and they could keep everybody together on that defense with Sherman, Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner.
sure.
Like so, when you have, then you could keep the defense together and the offense, the weapon, Lynch, Baldwin. And the Niners are doing it now. It's just once he gets paid, the other positions are going to fall off, and Purdy's going to have to take another step.
So let's take
Which
it there.
I think
then,
he can do that.
So Tyler kind of sets it up, but Brian, here's where I want you to take it down more. Then we'll get to Casey to wrap it up, kind of with his thoughts on it. And we'll kind of hit other spots with Purdy there too. Is what do you think? Is he gonna get $60 million? Like that's what these quarterbacks are almost getting now per year. Purdy gets him to another Super Bowl. That's 2 straight Super Bowls. Let's say he wins it. Is he gonna get, or is he? I mean, that's a ton of money. Are you guys? I mean, that's that. I don't know. Like, is that something you think the Niners will do? Will they pay Purdy that much money?
He kind of reminds me similar of a Christian McCaffrey guy, where maybe he'll do a deal that's more team friendly, so they can keep more players. So it's not like a whole lot of guaranteed money. Because if you look at McCaffrey, he's only making $19 million this season, and he's probably our best weapon on offense outside of Trent Williams. And Ayuk's, complain because he's not getting $30 million a year, and he's not the vocal point of the offense. So, I mean, sometimes I don't know. Purdy just doesn't seem like the guy that's going to want all this guaranteed money. He wants to keep winning, so he's probably going to do a more team-friendly deal.
See, I got to completely disagree because he isn't getting paid now. Like he's not making what like McCaffrey made on his rookie deals. He's getting $960,000 this year to be quarterback. Probably some bonuses are set up along the way, but that's what he's getting, Casey. Like these quarterbacks are going to make they're making right now. Here's what it is: Love is the highest paid quarterback, but Lawrence, Burrow, Love make $55 million a year. Tua just got 53.1. Goff is 53. Herbert's 52. Lamar's 52. So why wouldn't Purdy get $54 million, let's say, next year, Casey?
Well, there's no reason he won't. I mean, the market goes up every single year. And then to Brian, I mean, it's kind of like laughable when you're like, McCaffrey's only making $19 million. That's a lot of money. But, yeah, but for the quarterback market, though, you're right, Brian, though, because $19 million for a star is just, that's cheap right now. But for a quarterback, I mean, you're looking at Brock Purdy. He did lead them to a Super Bowl, or, that's the thing is, can he lead them to winning the Super Bowl? And I don't see there's any reason. I mean, the Niners, their roster's loaded, and Tyler kind of brought up, the issues that they're having while he's coming along for the ride is Purdy's going to get paid, and he's playing. I mean, he's been an All-Pro, Pro Bowl type quarterback the last couple of years. If he didn't get injured against Philadelphia, who knows? It could be 3 trips that they go to the Super Bowl now. So, I mean, the money's just getting up there, and I think that's the hard thing is where you compare him at, because Dak Prescott, I don't know where you want to put Purdy in that tier of quarterbacks.
Kyler Murray just got 46.1.
Well, I'm just saying, like, where do you put Purdy in those tier of quarterbacks? I think he's going to at least get the 53, 55, something like that. I don't think he can go below what the market is right now. That's the hard thing. But is he better than Tua? I think he's just as good.
Is he better than Jordan Love?
I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. I mean, the thing is where you see him in, I say, the next 5 years, I guess, that's how you project the contract. That's why the Cowboys are having their issues with Dak Prescott. It's like, well, you can't take us to the next level. Well, good luck if you let him go. Where are you going to go from there? You're going to fall real far. So that's the dilemma you have.
I mean, if you look at Trey Lance's training camp video, I mean, what are the options outside of Dak Prescott? You got Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, and Trey Lance looked god awful.
An unnecessary shot at Trey Lance. Unnecessary shot at Trey Lance. What do you think, McGurk?
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like Dallas was talking him up all year, like, oh, he could beat
you
out.
Were talking
Cooper
about
Rush.
like last year too. Maybe they were They were listening to your videos from last summer. They were like,
I just think that the fact that the Niners got a draft pick from him. Like Lynch should win executive of the year for that.
What
They
they
traded 3 first-round picks for him. They better.
Thank you, Tyler.
But I mean, at least they got something. Everybody was saying that he could have just gotten released, and the Cowboys could have picked him up on a practice squad.
I like positive Brian. I like the flows and emotions of the football season. We're in positive Brian state right now. I like it. I like GM of the year. I like it already.
They got a box of cookies for him. It would have been a good trade.
Tyler, what do you think? I see you wanted to say something.
I mean, as far as like Christian McCaffrey only making $19 million, that's $4 million than any other running back in the league. It's not like he's getting underpaid. It's all market. Like quarterbacks are going to get a bunch. And you looked at those top 3 guys Darren named at the top of the list. It's Tua, Lawrence, and Love.
Well,
Purdy's more accomplished.
Burrow's the only one that probably deserves it.
Purdy's more accomplished than all of those guys except for Burrow. But even then, like he hasn't played as long as Burrow. Burrow's probably a better quarterback. Purdy's done everything you've asked him to do. He's put up numbers. He's won. He just had a couple. He just didn't win the Super Bowl, and he got hurt against the Eagles. So like, he's gonna get his money. And like, as far as him taking an advantageous deal, he's been on an advantageous deal for 3 years. Like Darren said, he wants his money and he deserves it. So
yeah,
someone should have paid. He's gonna get paid.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what you said, Tyler, because I remember, I just recalled this, but I remember when Derek Carr was the highest paid quarterback just for a hot minute. You know, Matt Ryan was the highest
then Jimmy
paid
Garoppolo a week later. The Niners.
So it just shows you, yeah, you're right, Tyler. The market is what it's set at. That's just the going rate is what it is.
And it's only going to go higher because Mahomes is going to blow that out of the water. Then you're going to have Hurts go above Lawrence, and you're going to have Jackson eventually again go annually higher than these guys. Like that's what Williams looks like to me that he's holding out. Is like I'm like, well, why is he holding out again? Like he's actually made pretty good money at left tackle. Like the way his deals have worked out. Not saying, but the way he's done it well. Let's put it that way. Where he's gotten paid, he's like probably made over like a $90 million guaranteed. I think he's made more than that, but he's kind of at the end of his rope. I feel like he knows the Niners need him more than anybody else. They need the boom box along with him walking out. The boom box isn't scary if number 71 isn't next to it, walking next to you. So I feel like he's holding them hostage to like, give me 2 years and you're maxing me out again at what you want. That's what I'm getting. So the Niners are at this point where they're next year. This is all going to just enjoy it, boys, for one more year because it's you're losing players. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. I just feel like the guy that could be on the cutting block next year is just George Kittle, because I feel like, yes, he's a good blocker, but we're paying him a lot of money on that contract. I feel like we could probably get somebody in the draft who's younger, maybe somebody who the Raiders took this year,
Brock Bowers, yeah. I talked about him a little bit yesterday.
Man, if I was George Kittle, I'd be pissed if you were my agent. I'm just a good blocker. I think he does more than that.
Just like it's weird the way they use him. They don't use him as like the way the Chiefs use Kelsey.
No, he's definitely not Kelsey.
The thing Kittle doesn't do, which is based on, he doesn't go out in the slot. He's not like just going to be a receiver. He's going to block for a half second. He's going to chip someone every time he gets off the line. So he's just a different player. He's just as effective. Yeah. It's just the stats aren't going to show like 100 catches and 1,300 yards like some of these times.
But I feel it's intriguing that Debo is all of a sudden this team player this year. He's like, I'll go out and make kick returns. It's like he's kind of showing the Niners like, maybe you want to keep me over Ayuk because Ayuk is being a baby about his contract and doing this other stuff. And maybe he's trying to show the Niners like, I'm the Swiss Army knife. I'm the guy that makes this offense run. It's like, keep me around and, send Ayuk somewhere else.
What I'd say to Debo is stay healthy, my guy. Stay healthy. If you want to stick around, you got to 16.
But I mean, isn't that the argument that when Debo's out, the offense isn't doing as good?
That is true.
Even if Ayuk is there.
No, I've said that from.
But then we can't get Greg Papa's call. Ayuk.
But he guys went for Debo too. Debo. Whoa. Debo just sets up mismatches all over the field, and he makes it easy to read defenses. That's where Debo is so effective. You can put him in the backfield, put a little motion, and then you know what they're doing.
Enjoy it. It's going bye-bye in a year. You're losing players. It's not
It's
happening.
it's like Super Bowl or bust. No excuses, Shanahan.
Unless
It's
Brock Purdy.
the last dance.
You know, it was a
See
good
the
game.
documentary?
I watched yesterday. It was actually the Super Bowl again. That was a good game.
I mean, a lot of holding that went uncalled.
Did the Niners win this time? Did they win this? I
I thought
they
would, but no,
They
it's
did
the
not
same
make it.
result. So.
Do you think if Shanahan looked at how the result what was, that he would have just not settled for 3 and just said, "I'm going for it on 4th down and overtime"?
Hopefully the guy would have said, I'm going to kick to start the damn overtimes and not receive the damn ball. That's where he messed up. I was like, what do we do? Like, even when it happened, I was like, why would you not want the ball second? It makes no sense.
Yeah, that was an odd one. I don't think he understood. He still said he would do it though. So whatever. You guys play the Jets opening your first 4 games are Jets at home on Monday night, at Minnesota, at LA, versus New England. Then you go Arizona, at Seattle.
Another 50, Darren. Come on, the Jets are really
Come
good.
on, Aaron,
Come on,
step up for me. Come on, Rodgers. Get it done. That will be an interesting game, that opening night one. There'll be a lot of emotion on the line there. You guys should be able to take care of the Jets, though. I feel like that should be at home. I feel like you guys should be able to get it done. But then I feel like it's not the worst. At Minnesota, the Rams, I guess, could be better. Patriots, Arizona, at Seattle. I know that's always a tough game, but I don't know. It's not the worst 7 games to start out with. You should be able to. I would think 5-2. You would want to be there after those games. Probably 6-1. Even.
I mean, talking to Adam right now, we're going to definitely destroy those bums, the Patriots.
You don't think? You don't think? Was it who's the coach now there? Mayo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they said they're going with Jacoby Brissett because he's the most NFL ready right now. It's just like, if you got a young team, why wouldn't you just see what Drake May is going to bring to the table? You took them.
You guys play the Chiefs. That'll be a good game.
They got it tough. The end of the schedule gets real tough.
At Miami versus Detroit.
Packers,
at Green Bay, at Buffalo. At Green Bay, at Buffalo, back-to-back weeks, November 24th, and then December 1st. You're right. That's a pretty tough back-to-back in the NFL. Cold.
Very cold.
Green Bay, but at Buffalo. I guess they'll probably get used to that. All right. I thought it was good we started getting some Niners talk in there, kind of see where you guys thought. Brian, any last thoughts on your Niners there?
I would have to say, like, what you would consider a negative is definitely a positive going into training camp is like, man, their cornerback room is just becoming a lot of depth to it now. They have good corners and they keep adding them in the draft. So I don't know. It was like a negative.
Who's your best corner? Who's the guy? Who's your best? Who's your best corner?
I would definitely say Mooney Ward. You could probably put him in like.
Is he better than Jack Jones?
I would definitely say he's like number 7 in the league. I mean, he's an elite corner in my opinion.
Number 7. How did you get there? I like that's I mean, that tells me you've made a list. I like that you got the number 7.
It'll be big. It'll be big to get you the safety back too. I'm going to mention his name.
Funga.
Yeah.
That was a big injury last year when he got hurt.
And then Greenlaw. Is Greenlaw going to be healthy for this season?
No, he's going to miss the first half of the year.
That's another big one, yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast. That was a big one of that game.
It's like who's going to step up at that linebacker position. I think the guy we took out Penn State a couple of years ago, I think D. Winters will be the guy, in my opinion.
It's not a bad name, D. Winters. I like that. It's not a bad little. It's a bad name. I was talking yesterday a Raiders case. I came on this Let's Be Real podcast there, and they let me. So I basically was talking about the Raiders and what they're kind of going forward to. So it was kind of fun. I got to just kind of do like about a 10-minute, well, probably not that long, but a little 5-minute spiel on the team, and then they asked questions about it. I don't know, Tyler, you listened to it. What do you that part, what do you think was like the most, what did you take away from my kind of thoughts on the Raiders going into the season? Then we'll let kind of Casey jump in on it.
No, I thought you were right there. I thought, like, Adams was obviously upset with the quarterback play last year. You need to develop a second weapon, whether that's Brock Bowers. I think you underplay Michael Mayer. I think he's going to be a good tight end, especially I think you're going to do a lot of 2 tight end sets with Antonio Pierce. And I think you guys are just going to be really run heavy.
But
I think
that's a
Zamir White's
concern
gonna
though
get,
for me. White he had like 95 yards last year on the ground.
no, White had a good
Or
year when he
not
played.
White, the other guy, the backup. Like White to me is like I kind of have a little concerns about him carrying the load.
See, I like Zamir White. From what I saw, obviously we haven't seen it for a full season. He could flame out, but he was pretty good in the last 3 games when he got the ball. And then the defense, I think it all comes down to Crosby, Kuntz, and Wilkins, the big free agent you brought in, D tackle from Miami. You brought that up. I thought you did a good job. Obviously, the quarterback play, Minshew turns into Gannon. That'd be huge.
That's the hope.
Does that happen? I think it's kind of hard for him to do that. I think having Groot in there, having Groot in there with Gannon really gave Gannon a little bit of a better starting point than going in with Antonio Pierce. He's going to be really defensive minded. And he had Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Charlie Garner. I mean, that always helps. But yeah, I thought you did a good job. I think it's going to be a defense oriented team and a lot of running the ball.
Case the quarterback play, I would say that one of the quotes was stop taking baby steps. He was saying about the quarterbacks. Somebody be the guy. I was like, well, it's easier said than done, don't you? I mean, like I did say at the beginning of the year that like I was like okay with them maybe keeping Aiden to build the other roster spots. So I knew this was a possibility, but as I said yesterday too, I didn't want Carr for $200 million anymore. I just, whatever the contracts these guys were getting. So what do you kind of make? I had some, I think Pierce, I mentioned, like, can he build that chemistry as Tyler's saying, but the rookies, I think Bowers could be a big factor for them. Like, let's see, like he says Mayer, but like, can they build chemistry together? Like these two, is that actually legit weapons? And I just, the guys were worried that Pierce isn't going to get a shot. I think he will, but I'm just like, I am a little worried if like they get like 140 yards on offense. It's like, that's where you could get fired. Like it has, and I do have concerns that could be the case sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but I mean, I'm kind of on the flip. Like I told you guys, if they play that Baltimore Ravens type, I mean, I know Devontae wants them to air it out, and it's a new NFL, and points are at a premium. And I mean, like Tyler brought up, Christian Wilkins, that's a huge signing for them, at least on the inside. Kuntz on the outside.
That should help Crosby.
I mean, yeah, I think that'd be massive. And Kuntz, the way he came on last year was, I mean, he's playing possessed. Crosby, I mean, there's nothing to even be said about him. That guy's just absolute amazing. Yeah. Full effort 100% of the time. I think they're just going to have to lay their hat on the defense. I mean, I think they're going to be well ahead of the offense. I mean, Pierce, I mean, I think everything that he's shown, just in that time being of, coming in and stepping in, boys rallied around him. They got I think this is one of their most talented teams they've had, like, overall in a long time. They're not so heavy on one side. Granted, I'm talking about the defense being better.
They finally have a defense for a little bit in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, I still question our cornerbacks though a little bit, but we'll see.
And they're still missing that middle linebacker, right, Darren?
What do you think of that? Have they figured that out?
I would say for the first time last year, their linebackers were not an issue. Like, I mean, they weren't the best, but like, who was the guy they got from when they got him from the Steelers? I was like, all right, what was his name? Spillane.
Yeah,
he actually was like solid, maybe not the best. And then Diablo took another step too, but he always gets hurt. That's the problem with him.
Taco Bell hot sauce.
Diablo, what a name too, right? Diablo. No, I think Spillane actually, Tyler. There's a chance. There's a chance. It's not right, Case.
I'm definitely gonna vote for you guys to mess Mahomes up a little bit. I wouldn't mind that.
When did we play the Chiefs first?
We're the last team to beat them.
We beat, and we always play them tough for the most part. Then we blow it against them, but that's another story. We played week 1, Case. We're at LA against the Chargers there. When do they play that? We play the Chiefs week 8, so an October game at home in Las Vegas there, and then they go week 13 on a Friday game, a Friday night game. Wow! All right, we go Friday night, November 29th in Kansas City.
Night, feeling right.
Let's do it. We're gonna get about prime time again. Let's go. So I mean, I want a winner. I want to be able to feel what Brian and Tyler feel and be like, yo, we traded a 3rd-round pick. We're GM of the year. Like, I want to have these type of emotions where I'm all giddy about everything, but we don't have that type of history. We have 21 years of misery. Seriously, I try to remind people.
But can you really say?
Years,
Can you really say what it's like to be a winner when they haven't won a Super Bowl either? I mean, just keeping it real, fellas.
I didn't say anything. Don't come at me.
But
No,
hey,
I'm
at
just
least we
saying.
can make the
22.
playoffs, huh?
Well, I've had that with the Oakland A's. It's almost just as miserable. I feel like you're always getting there, but you never like finish the deal, and it's like so frustrating. Like
there is a pain.
Couldn't even get out of the first round.
Exactly. Sometimes I wish they.
It's just like we just keep. I don't know. It's like, hey, at least we have a quarterback, right? Oh.
Ooh.
Who do you guys want this?
It's every year with you guys. It's always an experiment. It's like Kerry Collins.
Collins.
I mean, just all these guys you bring in. You go,
Jason Campbell.
They're gonna be the guy. It's like I don't know. It's like at some point you're gonna have to draft a guy and develop him.
Like Trey Lance.
I don't know, but it's like it gets to a point like, you brought Jimmy in last year. How did that work? I mean,
I think that's why they didn't overspend this year. They just took Gordon on a 2-year deal, said, let's see if Aiden develops or Gordon turns into a miracle man.
Gordon.
Yeah, it was Gordon.
Gordon
Gardner.
I call him Gordon. I call him Gordon because of he kind of looks like to be the guy from Mighty Ducks. Bombay. Gordon Minshew. And so so I need him. I don't know. I just feel like that's who will be starting. I feel like Adams, right, Casey Adams will want still like a lot of targets, and Minshew's going to be the guy to get it done. So I don't see Aiden being the starter for more than 3 weeks, like I said yesterday on the show. If that's the case, they play in the AFC West, and that is owned by the best team. I mean, they have the best. And then Harbaugh comes in to coach the Chargers, so that division to me is going to get a little bit tougher now. But the Broncos do suck, so that does make me feel a little bit better about the AFC West.
But do you think Harbaugh automatically changes the Chargers into an elite team?
Not elite.
But I don't know. I just feel like, is he going to get rid of that bad luck that they have? I mean, it seems like they can't get over the hump.
I don't think it was bad luck. I think it was bad coaching. Brandon Staley was not. Some of the calls he was doing.
You had a meltdown against the Jags in a playoff game. That was pretty bad.
There is a little history they're going to have to break for sure.
They call a timeout against the Raiders in overtime. They could have just let the clock run out, it looked like, and they get eliminated. It was bad coaching. Remember when Harbaugh came to the Niners, they were not very good. And that first year, they turned them around pretty quick. I think they went 13-3 and made the NFC Championship game and were a forced fumble by Navarro Bowman away from a Super Bowl. I don't think they'll be that good, but Harbaugh's a great coach. He's one of the best coaches in all of football. Like you're not gonna make a bunch of mental mistakes like they did with Brandon Staley, and they'll be in games. So I think they'll win around 9 games.
John Madden memes came famous again with Staley, right? Case, just take the points.
Just take the points.
What are we doing there? What are we fourth and forever? All right, so we got Raiders there, a little Niners talk along the way. Brian, we're almost there. Football season, trading camp is kicking off the year. That means we get Brian.
And the Hall of Fame game is next week.
Who do we say is in that Hall of Fame game again?
Chicago and Houston.
It's a must-win for the Bears. Must-win.
Will C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams even go to the game?
So supposedly in Bears practice, Marquez Sweat, like he's not supposed to hit the quarterback, and he actually hit him, and they threw him out of practice or something. That's what I read.
Well worth it.
Gunner stall. Well worth it. 2 minutes. Well worth it.
That seems like he's like, well, it's all right. I get to go home early, but maybe I don't know. He'll probably has a fine coming his way, is my guess as well. I'm sure there's a fine for that. All right, so Brian, that's our NFL kind of. I love it. You're on now. Here every week. We can get our little NFL talking. I want to keep going with the Niners a little bit because there's a lot of storylines with your guys' team headed into this year. So there's a lot that we could have got to, but we'll keep that going next week as well. I'm sure there will be more drama out of camp. That's usually what always happens with these things.
We're getting great news. We're getting Ricky Parcell is going to be activated off PUP, so he's going to start practicing.
Yeah, you guys need to get him back because you were talking him up like he's the next great Niners wide.
I just don't understand how you rip on it. That pick. I mean, what else were you going to get at that point?
Tyler was harsh on it.
We could have got Cooper DeJean as a slot corner safety. We could have got an offensive lineman.
I mean, we ended
Tyler
up
Guyton.
filling that position. We got Green from Florida State, who's supposed to be the best press corner in college. So I feel like
we'll
got
see how that
later
works
on.
out. We'll see how Parcell works out. We could have got Troy Franklin, wide receiver from Oregon. I don't know. He's looked good in practices. He's a lot of rave reviews. I don't know.
Are they still in shorts though?
He's
Are they
just
still in shorts?
he's a real hard worker. So.
Brian, you always have nice things to say. I appreciate that. He's a real hard worker. He's missed the last week of practice. How hard is he working?
But I mean, you see him on the side. He's running and he's working through the hamstring injury. He's not just doing what
He's not doing what me and you were doing, Tyler. Sitting on our
there.
butt. He's not drinking beers on the sideline. He's doing leg presses. All right, he's working out over there. So I did hear Greg Pop say.
I guess that's what Herm Edwards said with him because he did coach him at that point. He just said sometimes he works too hard.
Got to kill him. Got to set him back a little bit there. Eat the him. But
Brian,
he was talking about Ricky Parcell. I guess he used to coach him.
Why do you play the game, Brian? Why do you play the game?
Get him out of shorts. Brian, what do you think of A's Giants trades? All right, so Blake Snell gets 15 Ks yesterday for the Giants.
30 swings and misses. And
now there's rumors that he's on the block, possibly to the Yankees now, and that kind of good stuff. Will they trade him perfect time after a performance like that? Made me think of like, all right, what are some like first thing, not during the off season, but like trades that kind of jump out to you at the deadline that maybe like our teams have made. We'll see what the A's do too. There's rumors they may trade Miller, but did you guys hear he got upset? So what happened was he had a save, and then they told him he had to do a post-game lift. It was on the schedule, and he threw down his left hand, and it fractured his left pinky. So he can't close that glove anymore. So he went on the IL because he didn't want to get the post-game lifted. So he goes there. So we'll see if he gets traded. But best A's Giants trades of all time, like at deadline, they don't have to be the best of all time, but just ones you guys think of that comes to mind. Brian, you got any that jump out to you?
I guess it's a negative when we dealt Cespedes for that pitcher, and I still don't get what they were doing because I'm gonna say that pitcher because what we needed in that one game playoff was offense, and we couldn't get any offense going. It's like, why would you get rid of Cespedes?
We scored 8 runs in that game, by the way. We did. It was Lester that.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Brian. I remember when that trade happened. Darren was just slopping up John Lester. Just this is
because you're so negative. I always have to tell you this stuff.
I'm glad the tunes are changed. This is great.
You're just like, this is great. And I was just like, but we have the best offense in the league. Like, why
a
are we?
Trade.
You did not think so at all.
No, I did. I was trying to be optimistic.
You forgot that he couldn't throw the first base. That's what happened. He just let runners run all over.
Even if you're left-handed, you can throw it underhand for God's sakes. I mean, how do you not throw to first base?
I mean, he became like Chuck Knobloch.
Well, they took him. Cespedes was the 4-hitter on that lineup. You're right. That was a big deal. You took him, you removed him, and then you had to put like Brandon Moss at 4, and like he was okay, but it wasn't as good a hitter as Cespedes was at that time. So, you got one, Tyler, from the Giants side, or an A's one too?
Yeah, from the Giants. A good one was trading for Jason Smith for Armando Rios. That was a great trade in the middle of the year. They bring in Smith, and then a bad one was trading Zach Wheeler for Carlos Beltran. Another one, when it happened, I was like, oh, that's a great trade. We get Carlos Beltran, great switch hitter. Posey's out for the year because he gets run over by the Cousins. And we get a good middle lineup hitter, and he gets soft tissue muscles that get banged up. He can't play, misses the rest of the year. Zach Wheeler becomes the player he is today. And it didn't work out. I'd love to have Zach Wheeler on this Giants team.
And then Chris Bryant recently.
Well, that was a good one.
We got him as well. Right. And then I remember the one from the 90s. I remember they got
Kenny Lofton was a good addition at the
That was a good one too. They got Hernandez, Alvarez, and Darwin from the White Sox. It was bigger on the White Sox side because they were like only 3.5 games out of first place at the time when they made the trade. So like I remember a lot of fans sell the team for that team back then. So they got that one too. And then you guys got Hunter Pence. That was a good trade, obviously.
Oh, that was a really good.
That worked out well with the
very
Phillies.
A trade that should have happened. They should have gotten Adam Dunn.
Yeah, then they waited like 3 years later and got him. It's like at like the what was it
Don't
called?
get-
It's like the post deadline trade. It was like you could
The
make
Rule
trades.
5.
It was like you could make trades up till August 31st, but it was like they had to be a certain type of contractual. I was
that
thinking
was the one. That was the one time Peter Gammons let me down because he kept talking it up and it never happened.
Damn you, Peter. Damn you. You let Johnson down. The hopes and dreams of a young man.
Did you guys
yeah,
get Jermaine die at the deadline? I believe.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
was
a
gonna
good
say.
that was a good trade. I don't know if we got Diet.
Stop stealing my damn trades, Tyler.
Addison
we got
Russell for
Diet at the deadline.
Samardzija.
That was a good one.
What was Johnny? Was Johnny Damon at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got that was at the beginning with KC, and then they ended up getting the one I remember too. They traded with KC a lot during the era. The year before, they ended up getting. We gotta get. What's up, Vandy? Chris? Been a minute. Been able to coach you guys live. What's up, man? He out there in Nashville. Casey, remember he used to do college shows with us a couple times.
Yeah,
Out there, Vandy. Chris. I hope everything's going well. Yeah, we were talking A's Giants trades. Yeah, Kevin Apier. That was one before they made the play. They traded for Kevin Apier for the Royals. That was like a big deal because remember he was kind of a big name there towards the late 90s. So they ended up getting him. I remember, and then like Randy Velarde from the Angels. Those were like some trades they made at the deadline. Ricky Henderson trading Luis Polonia for Ricky Henderson. Always a solid trade when you can pull that one off, right? That's always a bad deal.
Yeah, because at that time I remember the A's just had injury problems. Like Eck went down and Jose Canseco was out and Mark McGuire, and they just needed something to give them another boost.
Yep. And then they ended up. You're right. Dye was also a deadline deal. They got him at the deadline there. Yeah, those were a couple good ones there. There was also a few like Tyler. I was thinking the Giants. They never really sell that much at the deadline in our history.
No, I saw some stat. This was probably like 2005. Where like from 98 to 2005, they played like 4 games where they were not in it. Like, I don't know, it was a crazy stat. But like Sidney Ponson, they bought from the Orioles. He was the big best. Lost to the Marlins in game 2. Really let me down.
But I just don't think you guys have ever really like sold like because you guys have always in it though. It feels like at that time, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
It feels like
I can't think of any big sells. Like
no, I can't either. It seems you guys are always there. Around the A's they've always saw like I even remember like they traded for Samardzija. They got him.
Addison Russell.
They traded for him at the deadline.
That was a dumb trade.
Was it they traded Zobrist? Is that who they traded? I think they traded Ben Zobrist, I think, to the Royals, and that helped them get the World Series that one year. So yeah, the A's have made a couple like big trades over the years. Billy Koch, no.
The one that always was underrated was the one that they got. I think it was like 4 players from the Mets. Was the Terrence Long,
Kenny Rogers? They traded.
Yeah, remember they got Terrence Long. They got like 3 or 4 guys in that deal.
Yes.
And that was a big pickup for them. I remember that. I forget the starting pitcher. He's the guy I think that started game 1 for them, I believe. I forget.
I think
not Gil Heredia, was he?
I think they actually not Gil. Yeah, it was game.
He
Gil
did
Heredia
start
had
game
5
1,
too.
Game 5, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they pitched game 5 and they were down 5-0 in the first inning. But they did make it 5-3. They couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold on to the lead.
Weren't they somehow involved in that 3-way deal that Beltran went to the Houston Astros? I was like, why couldn't we get Beltran?
Yeah, that was the Beltran one there. I remember that one. Casey, before I forget, remember the name Randy Taylor? He was the closer for the A's for a little bit. Like
right after that.
That's who they got for Isringhausen at the deadline. So they ended up getting him. You got him at the deadline over there, and then then Ray Durham also was a good one.
Ray from across the bay.
Yep, Ray laid by the bay, and then one of Brian's favorite A's. How many uniforms did you have? 45 Rich Harden jerseys. I feel like you had one that you traded. They traded Rich, and they got Donaldson in the deal back from the Cubbies. That was a decent. At the time, we didn't know that he was going to be good, but that was also a deadline deal that they got there as well. So
I think the A's have gotten rid of more like they.
The McGuire one was awful.
Yeah, that
was
pretty brutal.
That was awful. They got like terrible players back in that deal. So
that was probably one of the worst trades.
I have a Coco Crisp shirt.
Yeah,
I have a Coco Crisp foul ball.
Yes, you did. You do have a Coco foul ball. That's one of our memories we didn't actually bring up from last week. All right, so that was good. Some trades there with it. Brian, I'm not going to bore you with basketball here too much, but I did want to bring up real quick. Green. Does Green's opinion actually matter in trades? He told Dunleavy, no, we don't want to do this trade. The other day, he said we do not want to. He said we were just about to make some trades last week, and I told them straight up, like, yo, that trade it'll help me right now in my career these last couple of years with Steph. But I've always spoke to y'all from a place of what's best for this organization, and I won't stop now. That's a bad trade. Like, I don't do that trade. Like, I disagree with it, although it's going to help me right now. What a nice
sounds like he wants a pat on the back.
I like the way.
Way to be unselfish.
I like the way Darren reads Draymond Green's quote.
Hey, yo. That's how he wrote. That's how it said right there on the quote. Y-O. Right there.
I feel like we're going to be talking about this in a group text with Adam today.
We got that.
Team USA is playing right this instant against Nikola Jokic in Serbia.
USA.
Don't turn it off. Wait, just use a little DVR.
Tyler, what's the top 5 question of this week?
What are your top 5 favorite pizza toppings?
Does cheese count? That's good.
Cheese counts. Pizza topping.
That's usually all I get is they get little kids cheese pizza.
All right, Dave Portnoy.
The other case, where do you go? Top 5.
Top 5. Can you? They don't have to be all on the same pie, right, Tyler?
No.
Okay.
What's your favorite pie?
I'd say pepperoni for sure. Sausage, chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, so why you guys say like that, bro? It's my list, man.
It sounds like he called you a chicken.
Yeah, no, get off my pizza, bro. This is my pizza. I would say it's tough because if you go with pineapple, you got to go with ham.
No, you can do pineapple pepperoni.
Yeah, that's true. I guess pineapple. I go with pineapple, and then I would say bacon, but they never actually put like real bacon. It's just like bits. So I would go. The last one's a little tough, but I'd probably go with bell peppers.
That's not a bad one.
No, vegetable was not on my bingo card with the case for that history. I thought it was meat lovers and maybe a fruit like pineapple.
I have sausage, pepperoni, barbecue chicken, Johnson. That's what I got. A little bar. There's some good pizza out there with that. I got peppers as well, but they're grilled like that. Not onions, peppers on there. And then we have. Then I got. I like the bits, Case. I'm gonna go bacon bits. I do like the bacon bits on my pizza. So, well, they're not maybe the ones that you get from Round Table area, but like the little serving salad bar. But you cook them up right. So I'm gonna go those.
Right.
Yeah, I just remember the episode on Seinfeld where you can build your own pizza, and the guy gets mad at him because he's putting random toppings on there. He's like, you can't put that on a pizza. And he's like, it's my pizza.
About that. Brian, what kind of pizza do you? And Chris over here just gets pepperoni, pineapple, mushroom with Alfredo sauce. So there you go. There's a little particular pizza. Come on, John.
I got definitely go with bacon on my pizza. That's definitely one of my favorites. And you got to definitely go with the sauces, the pepperoni, and then you can always put beef on there too.
Oh,
beef.
What's for dinner?
Like a meatball? What type of beef are you putting on there? A burger?
Yeah, it's like burger.
Yeah, right. Make a hamburger helper with your pizza or what?
You got the cheese. You just need some noodles.
Brian, you don't remind me.
Like Kramer said, it's my pizza. I can put what I want on it.
Brian, you don't put onions and peppers on that thing?
Brian, one vegetable you put on it.
Come on, Brian. You put a little veggie on there, a little
mushroom. Have to put
if I had to put anything on, I put pineapple.
Oh, wow. All right. I like it.
Very similar list so far. I got pepperoni sausage, obviously. Those two are automatics. Then I got mushrooms. Then I got a little garlic. And then I got...
Oh, yeah, I'd go with mushrooms.
Probably buffalo chicken. We go with 3 different types of chicken. You got barbecue. You got regular chicken. I'll go buffalo chicken. Those are my 5. No beef. No beef. Well, beef will not make my little cut.
Dude, how about mashed potato?
two sides. Just throw a
Too
baked
soon?
potato on that.
Or you go 3 sides like I did.
Can I get all 3 sides of it? I'll get a shepherd's pie too.
Bro,
yeah, like-
you guys,
Oh, Brian,
you guys,
look at this.
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Taylor.
No, you got it. You got it.
There it is.
Brian,
Totino's has the
as-
little square pizzas for $2, and one of the flavors there is actually hamburgers. So there you go.
Brian, have you been eating Totino's pizzas?
I remember when they used to have those pizza rolls that were really good.
I think that's what he's referring.
I remember bagel bites. That's all I used. My mom, we lived.
I know
we-
Totino's used to have pizza rolls that you could, make, and they
my
were
mom
really
wasn't
good.
into the rolls, the
I
tequila.
remember back in the day, those pizza bagel bites. I had a little extracurricular activity to make myself get a little hungry. And I came in and got my bagel bite, and afterwards I burnt the crap out of the top of my mouth. I was done for. I was like, this is a big mistake.
As always,
Cody-
Costco, I think they sold, wasn't it like 120 pack of like bagel bites or something like that. It was ridiculous. 36 pack, I remember, and it was just like, as a kid, you just fire up that oven or microwave, it's probably more like it, and just, man, sit there and eat 36 bagel bites. It's just like,
Where do you guys?
life is good.
So if I go to, where do you guys go the most though? So I go to obviously in Cloverdale, Papa's Pizza chain restaurant the most. It's got to be probably still Round Table. I don't think Chris out there gets that in Nashville. Actually we did some people closer.
You get a round table more than Mary's with your parents?
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Mary's a little bit more. Where do you got, Brian? Where do you go out in the OC? California pizza?
I would definitely say Pizza Hut a lot.
Pizza Hut?
I don't
Pizza
know what
Hut,
she's referring
yeah.
to, but
Casey, because when she was a kid,
I mean, come on, it's better than Domino's.
Domino's. Remember that Domino's was the one we would get at Rincon Valley in Maria Korea. You get those little pizzas. That was a big deal. Got to get in there before they get those. Get that little bitty-
Fridays, $3 pizzas.
Case, where do you go the most? DiGiorno?
Did you know? Nah,
Yeah, that's what I've been doing lately, getting it from the grocery store and just cooking it, DiGiorno.
I'm not a fan as much as DiGiorno. The crust is kind of a off-put to me. Yeah, I would probably say, I don't know, Pizza Guys is up there. That's one that I go to a lot.
It's probably a local California one too.
Pizza Guys, Round Table, not so much Domino's. Pizza Hut, I mean, I don't really think we have a Pizza Hut, but
is that the Taco Bell drive-thru? That's where I remember.
yeah, they have that. I think the real one is down by like somewhere off of like way down in Santa Rosa somewhere. That's like the only Pizza Hut I know of.
That's the only one I remember is the drive-thru one. Pizza Ranch. Never heard of Pizza.
Never heard of it.
That was
Does it
always
come with
the
ranch
best.
dressing.
Probably does. I would think it does.
That was always a good one with the Pizza Hut with the / Taco Bell. Man, talk about a rough afternoon after that visit.
There's a place me and Matt went to when we were over in San Diego called Napoli's Pizza, and it was really good.
Napoleon's or Napoli's?
Napoli's Pizza.
All right, guys, wanted to make sure.
You know what's actually a good one too is Mambo's. That one's really good too.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too. Tyler, you go somewhere in particular?
Nah, it's probably Round Table. But a quick story: Casey came over to my house to watch some football one day, and he met my girlfriend, now wife, for the first time. And we get delivery, and they take like hours to deliver the pizza. Casey, you remember this?
Yeah.
And Casey's fuming on the couch. He finally just calls him and gives him peace of his mind. I was like, oh man, this will be used later. It was a good time though. They brought us our pizza.
Casey went off on the guy?
Not off, but he was very stern. He got it for free. He was very.
I was pissed. I was starving, dude. It was like
we're all starving, waiting for pizza.
Like 3 hours.
He got hangry.
It was like a full halftime. Like it was like easily like.
It was longer than that. It was like a whole half or a whole game almost.
I remember the one Ryan really liked was that I like to Papa Murphy's. You have to put it in your own oven, but.
That's
Brian.
I like Papa Murphy's.
I was gonna say, so you guys both worked at a lot of Pizza Shack or like
I
Mary's.
worked at one.
Yeah,
Okay, but Brian, I have to say, man, like out of all my stories, out of all my friends, I would have to say the one where you would just not give up on the people. It was like the opposite for me not getting my pizza. You wanted these people to have that pizza. So you kept ringing the doorbell. They would not come to the door.
He's like, I want my tip, man. Give me that tip.
And then there's an experience where
the
the woman
police showed
wouldn't
up.
come out. The woman wouldn't come out and just say it's the wrong address, and I got some like cop showing up saying I'm harassing her or something.
There's some stories for off the live that I gotta ask Brian about in his pizza delivery days.
That's my favorite, Brian. As we get Papa Murphy, yes, I like Papa. Is I'm on the Brian's on the phone with me, and we're talking, and he's making a delivery, and I feel like you were like, you're calling, you're like, I gotta go. I think I hit a dog. You're like, gotta go.
That's the story I was gonna bring up.
That was my
I
favorite
can't
one.
believe that dog just leaped in front of my car like it was trying to commit suicide or something.
But the way you
over
said
with your
it,
boss.
sorry, you're like so calm. You're like, I gotta go. It's like, why? I hit a dog.
That was
The
before
dog
cell phone
survived.
The
It's all
dog
good.
survived. It wasn't dog meat. That was good. You kept him alive there.
Jesus.
Getting graphic.
And then you had that one where you had that serious thing happen where the psychos threw a bottle through the back of your car.
That wasn't like a pizza thing. That was just kind of like
That's life.
yeah.
What instigated that?
I don't know. There's that it was just like a driving thing where
Were you guys like saying,
thought,
"Hey"?
they thought I was going too slow or something, and I made the mistake of honking.
They're probably like, that's the guy that kept ringing my mom's doorbell.
Were you in the red van?
No, I was in a Chevy Blazer.
Yeah, I remember that. That's what it was. The Chevy Blazer. It wasn't the van. You're right. It was that, and then you had to get that thing like duct taped up and stuff like that. It stayed on for a good time like that. I was impressed how you kept chugging away with it. Yeah, that dog one though. That was just the way you said it. The cadence with it was one of my favorite ones. And then I forgot that you got arrested. Or did you get arrested? Did they handcuff you, Johnson, with the pizza?
No, they just they made me get down. They made me get on the ground, and
Really?
The cop was like,
"Oh my god!"
the cop was like, next time somebody doesn't answer, just take that as they're not here and just leave. And I was like, damn.
Take it. You didn't get it.
Did you read the ticket wrong, or was the ticket have the wrong address on it?
I don't know. It was like I think it ended up being a prank order. Like somebody called for that address. Yeah.
Hey, before we get out of here, I wanted to just throw this out. Casey had a good idea with it one time. We got about 5 minutes here with it. What do you guys think? How many can we name quickly? I'll give us about a couple minutes here with it. But how many MVPs can we name? Basically from 2010 to 2020. So how many can you kind of think of in that era that play? Like obviously there's a lot of them. There's 20 of them. You have to get all of them. But I'm just curious how many we can check off the board without looking. So just throw out a few names that you think were on that list. ALNL 2010. I'll give you 2009 was Mauer and Pujols, and then 2010 that started the stretch there of doing it. So any names you guys want to throw out there?
Mookie Betts,
MVP, correct?
Mookie.
Buster Posey.
Yeah, he won the MVP.
Posey won one. Betts
Shohei
won
Ohtani.
He's on the list.
Betts is on it twice, I believe, for the Dodgers and the Red Sox.
He did. Yes, he got in 2018 with the Red Sox.
He never won one with the Dodgers?
No. Bryce Harper won it in 2021. Goldschmidt 2022, and then Acuna last year. 2020 was Freeman.
Freeman. Well, you gave them all. What? You gave them
no, those were older. Those were ones past the. I was saying since 2010 to 2020. Who do we get in that decade? Case, any names you want to throw out? You guys were missing a ton of solid names along the way.
I know. I was thinking about the teams. I was like, there's got to be a pitcher on there, no?
The dude from the Brewers, Rasmus. What the hell is the guy's name?
Good to see you too. So yeah, I'll give you a couple to help you guys out here. You forgot
what's his
Mike
name?
Trout.
The guy on the Brewers.
Ryan Braun.
No, not him. Another guy.
Ryan Yelich.
Yeah, Chris Yelich.
Yelich got one.
McCutcheon, was he in the 2010?
McCutcheon got one. He was 2013.
Bronze in there then.
Who's the
Miguel Cabrera.
Definitely Cabrera. Now we're starting to heat up a little bit, Johnson.
Tyler's heating up.
Who was the guy I mentioned that the Giants traded for?
Beltran?
Nope. The other guy.
For?
Third baseman.
Oh, Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant. He got MVP. He got one in 2016, him and Trout.
Did Longoria get one?
Longoria did, but that was earlier.
Okay.
I don't think you guys will get this one. Is he probably forgot about it? Is Giancarlo Stanton?
Carlo
won one on the Marlins.
Yeah, he got one on the Marlins here.
Wow.
Golden Boot Podcast. Yep, appreciate you guys.
They have a crazy video on Longoria. He's getting interviewed by a female reporter. There's a foul ball that comes around, and he catches it with his bare hands to save the reporter.
I don't think that's real.
I think that's fake, Brian.
I'm not even joking.
I think it's real, Tyler. Let's go.
I don't think it's real. I'm shocked that the Padres are trading anybody away. I don't know who Ryan Weathers is. I don't know how important he is to the team, but I didn't think the Padres would be selling at all. Why would Miami take him on if they're trying to trade their closer?
Oh no, they were there, but it was kind of not a bad trade for them. Random. It was like the
who won the MVPs the COVID year?
Abreu and Freeman. And then
Ohtani
Harper won in 2021.
Who's Abreu?
Jose.
Yeah, bum.
Jose Abreu. And then the other guys you forgot. The other guy you guys got most of them actually right for the most part because Cabrera took a few. We forgot Kershaw won one as a pitcher.
That's what I said, a pitcher. That's what
I was like, and then Josh Donaldson won one with the
Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, 2015. Him and Harper got him. So you guys did pretty good on that list with it. 2010 would be a hard year to get to. I don't think you guys would get either of those names. They were good.
On 2010?
Yeah, I mean, one of them's going to be in the Hall of Fame probably, but I still don't think you guys would get it. And the one guy dropped in a very important fly ball in center field. I know that. He helped us.
I was like
Josh Hamilton, 2010.
I was like Reggie Sanders. No, just
Ohio right team maybe.
That was Jose Cruz.
Right team maybe though. Ohio Sports Talk. Yeah, Doug's Joey Votto.
Oh, Joey Votto.
Yeah, because that was also kind of a weird year. Hamilton about it too. So that was fun, guys.
Yep.
I like Tyler. I like the top 5 thing that we add. So let's keep doing that. That's good stuff with that. I like the kind of start some good conversation there with it. Appreciate Vandy, Chris checking out again. We're going to be here Sunday mornings. I love that the 4 of us are on football style. We can do a little baseball review. Brian, you with the Niners, we can still kind of stay with the basketball a little bit once in a while. There's some news that breaks. We'll probably get into some Olympics here a little bit as well. But appreciate you guys tuning in and making the show the show a lot more fun there along the way with it. So, boys, another good show in the books. McGurk.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. No winners or losers this week.
You guys want to do one? What do you got?
The winners is Tyler Fitzgerald, just an absolute on fire display. Hopefully, you talk about him on 7th inning stretch, 10 games, 8 home runs.
Oh, he's been on fire.
You're right. He has 10 extra base hits. He's been unbelievable. I was like,
he's been
starting pitching with Birdsong, Snell, and Harrison was good the last 3 days. So the Giants, when they play the Colorado Rockies, look like they're a real competitive team, but when they play good teams, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, you guys needed them. You guys needed somebody on offense to have any life. Like it was pretty sad there for a little bit. Brian, you got winner or loser?
Yeah, I would say for a winner would be I saw this crazy sport at the Olympics that they do white water rafting, but it's in canoes. I was just like, man, that's a crazy sport to do, and they're doing pretty good at it. I was just like, man, whoever does that sport's a winner.
They are Olympic athletes. Hopefully they're good at it.
Casey, you got a winner or a loser this week?
Yeah, winner, man, was actually pretty cool. Was seeing a doubleheader. The Giants, and we were just talking about not that long ago. Cool. You don't really see doubleheaders anymore. Yeah. It was pretty cool to actually I was able to sit in front of the TV yesterday and just watch baseball. And another winner for me is the Oakland A's, Brent Rooker. Man, guys, I think they really got a winner in this guy. I just really hope they don't trade him away. It would just suck. But he looks like he's going to be an absolute stud.
I'll go a little loser of the week, I guess, but maybe it's a winner in some people's eyes. TNT's crew, this will be their final year, the last dance, as we call it, TNT style. But I'm like, what's the big deal? And in some ways, like, just go do your own podcast together. You'll probably do just fine too. But I know for a lot of people, it's kind of like the end of an era, kind of like, I guess, for our A's thing. What it is. I think once Shaq came on for me, it was good, but for me, it was a little different watching it way back before he even came on. That's the way I look at the show a little bit. So we'll see what happens with there. So that would be a little bit of the loser of the week there. Winner of the week on the A's there. How about Butler? This guy's going to win Player of the Month probably in July, and Bobby Witt Jr. is in the league, and he's on fire. So that's pretty impressive the way Butler is playing right now as well. So, Tyler, thanks for reminding me winners and losers there of the week. Guys, appreciate you as always. Brian.
Who's the loser?
Who's my loser? Huh?
Who's your loser?
I don't have a loser of the week. I guess it's the TNT thing. That would be my loser of the week. Is that maybe not being able to that kind of crew coming to an end? I guess.
What about the Olympics opening ceremony? A lot of backlash.
I got a loser. I got a loser of the week. Dominic Mysterio. I don't know why you had to insult Liv Morgan like that, but. I mean, in my opinion, Liv Morgan, you're way better off than being involved with Dominic Mysterio. I personally think the guy's a bum.
As long as he keeps showing those cheeks, I'm all for it.
She goes crying away at the end there, Case. Brian,
that is a good one, Brian. I like
that's that. That's a good one, John. So, hey, we have to get into a little wrestling next week. I know SummerSlam's on the way. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that after the shows this week. So, Brian, Casey, make sure you guys keep jumping on with me and Tyler. This is fun. We all of us are doing this podcast here.
And I can talk about more NFL teams than the 49ers.
Brian, this is a Bay Area. This is a Bay Area show. We don't want to focus on the Jaguars. We don't want to focus on the Jaguars. That's never. No, we can get it. We'll talk a little bit more. Probably some of the division teams there with it as well.
I was gonna say the loser, Darren, but this goes way back, and this isn't even the week. I sent you that video. I'd never seen it before. I'm sure you guys have, but it was. I think it was like 3 years ago. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but it was the rundown with Javi Baez between first and home. Do you guys recall seeing that against the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Oh yeah. But
man,
that play.
The most ridiculous play I think I've ever seen, like in Major League Baseball. I was so confused watching it. It just said like top, I don't know, whatever plays 1 in a trillion or something like that. And I was like, I've never seen a rundown from first going back to home with 2 outs.
They have another one. There was a better one with Vin Scully calling it the Dodgers. It's like, I mean, literally the guy like air at first, air at second, air on the way home. Like there was just like 3 airs in one play.
Ruben Rivera?
It was as little league as you get. That's the worst one. Ruben Rivera. That's the worst one. And that's the worst base running I think I've ever seen. That's an all-timer for sure. So, All right, guys, that was a good show this week. We had some good conversation there, Brian. We'll get back to some NFL next week. I want to kind of see where Ayuk's contract is with it. Tyler, glad you're back out there. I'm playing golf today, actually, with some. We got invited by William and a couple of his friends, so I haven't played since February. We'll see how that goes. All right, guys, have a good Sunday.
Hopefully, Ricky Parcell, you see some video highlights getting some balls from Brock Purdy.
Well, that's working hard out there.
Let's cut that. Let's cut that right there. That's a cut.
We're gonna call him Tyler's boy. Like, pardon the interruption.
Just like Trey Lance was your boy.
We love him. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Episode 184 in the books. Peace.
Hey, hit that like and subscribe button. 27 away from 200. Thank you.
Let's do it. Appreciate it. See ya.